guys, welcome back to Adrianna Adventures, where I'm going to show you everything that I put in my backpack when I am going on a backpacking trip with my 2- and 4-year-old solo. I'm going to provide you with my list so you don't have to worry about paying too much attention or listing things out, because right in the comment section you'll be able to find a link so that you can get the list here too. Thanks for tuning in and watching on today's channel. So I'm going to start with some of the food items. I kind of section out my gear according to, food, wear, SOS emergency, and then all the bedding and like the tent and that over there. So I'll go through everything. So I use my pocket stove here, and I also use this pot with my fuel. Sometimes I pack extra fuel with me depending on how many nights we're going. This is just quite a mini trip, so that kind of explains why we're not bringing too many things. Then I got my Java Chip GSI filter for coffee. Got my Starbucks because I love my Starbucks in the backcountry, and so I'm bringing that as well. I have my MSR cup and collapsible cups here. These ones are by GSI. This is the MSR kit, and it actually fits nicely into the pot here. Okay, so it makes it nice and easy. And then I just use one set of utensils right here. And then I have my biodegradable soap in here. And I try to do really minimal dishes and just share in the backcountry with kids because I'm already watching them. So it's just a lot to be able to kind of do both of a ton of different dishes I'm washing and then watching them. So I have these items here for the kitchen. Another important thing is my waterproof sack. And this is actually my bear hang bag as well. I do have our trail tether. I'm attached to this as well. So this is where I'll do my bear hang. I actually store my garbage, any kind of dirty diapers, and when the kids are done at the end of the backpacking trip, they usually have wet clothes and things like that. So everything goes in here. So it's nice and easy to pack. This is just like a dry sack that I usually bring. I do always bring a lighter with my kitchen stuff. So I usually store that together with my kitchen things. I do a natural bug spray for the kids, and they're really bad. Sometimes I'll bring a thermocell here in the Canadian Rockies. I have been using this product, and these are really good because they're natural. And then I do have a backpacker's pantry meal. They're not my favorite, I'll be honest. I would rather have fresh fruits and veggies, but you're in the backcountry, so you have to do anything that's lightweight. If you can eat your food out of the bag, even better, so you're not doing the dishes. I have more biodegradable hand soap as well for when you're trying to keep safe cooking at camp. Then I have our veggie gourmet bites. These are super handy for the kids. Of course, they have licorice when we're backpacking. We're all about the treats. We have some bars. And then that brings me to, I've already talked about my fuel. I'm only gonna bring one on this trip, which is sometimes a little risky. Sometimes it's nice to bring a double. Okay, next up is the clothes. So I try to do everything quick drying. So you have these little baggy shorts by Patagonia. They're super quick drying. Anything merino wool by Explore, base layers, Kids Who Explore, we have all the discounts. We have our camp crew that we bring. One of the key items for the kids is definitely the puffies by Patagonia. They're super warm. They're great for evening. And if they go swimming in that, they can just zip into this after and they warm up quite easily. I always bring anything that's SPF, making it super easy. My puffy, my oldest puffy, my youngest puffy. Sun hoodie is a big deal for us. We do sun hoodies. Quick drying shorts here for mom. Quick drying hiking pants for mom. I usually try to bring extra because it gets just destroyed in the backcountry. That kind of brings out our clothing items. We do spare merino wool socks. I always do spare base layers, and just so they're always dry. If you got these wet, you'd be able to easily hang the merino wool up and it would dry. Now I'm just going to quickly talk about first aid kit. So it depends on what you need in your first aid kit, but I've talked about this before on my channel, where you want to put, maybe it's your EpiPen, maybe it's your Tylenol, baby Tylenol, maybe it is Benadryl, whatever your family does for extra emergency with little children. It's very important to be in here. Medicine, extra diaper if you can put in here, extra wipes, anything of emergency like I do in this dry sack. Okay, so then I bring my 10 essentials as well. So this has the emergency blanket, the compass, you got your duct tape and things in case you need to do any survival, you're able to start a fire, that kind of thing. So I will plop that in here. I have my SOS device also attached to a trail tether. My sleeping bag keeps rolling off the table. I was talking about my Garmin InReach Mini attached to the trail tether. I always keep this on the outside of my bag where the bear spray is. So then I always bring my bear spray as well, clipped to the outside of the pack. Super important. Extra lights are always a good idea at camp. Super important to bring these with you. I've got them all charged up. A couple are battery as well, so the kids love these. We use these as our lanterns and that at night. I always have to recharge my phone a couple times, so this is really helpful. Don't forget the cord attachment to go with it. Biodegradable toilet paper. I also have my Huggies wipes, and I have a pull-up for my youngest. My Life Straw. Always got to filter your water. I do put a tab in, filter it, boil it, just because I'm with little kids. I know they have sensitive tummies and that, and I just don't want, like, I don't even know, beaver fever in wilderness first aid training. I took all of those types of things and they kind of scared me. So I boil, treat it, and filter. Okay. Mini Nalgene, great idea with kids. He'll put this to the outside of his pack. Mine's the adult one. These are super handy even in the night if you need to put hot water in this and at the bottom of your sleeping bag to stay warm. It's great. Major luxury item. Backpacking chair. Sometimes it doesn't fit, so I don't pack it with me. And then that's also fine. It's fine if you don't need to bring. It's just one of those things. It's like sometimes you want a luxury item, you want to sit out, you want to enjoy, and after a long hike in. But today is pretty short. I might not bring this. Always bring a silicone tarp in case you do forget your tent, in case there's something that goes wrong with your tent or your poles or anything like that. You do have a tarp, you do have shelter to protect your kids in the wild. So this is super handy, but it does take up a lot of space. I always pack a microfiber towel. Sometimes I do a bigger one, but for this trip, we're not going near a bunch of water, so I'm just gonna do the small cloth. Next, I'm gonna talk to you about sleeping in the tent, okay? So I like to bring our Thermarest. It's kind of like the Thermarest Z. This is the Z Lite is what it's called, and it does go on the bottom of the tent. I usually try to bring one for each of us, but it just kind of depends on how much we're carrying. So for this particular trip, I packed one. And then here we have our Big Agnes 3 Tiger Wall, and it's gonna fit the three of us in. It's a bit of a tight fit, but it is super light when I'm solo backpacking with my kids. I just can't carry anything extra because I do have the 4-person MSR, which I love. But for this particular trip, I do need to keep it nice and light. Never backpack without my Trail Magic with kids because you ain't gonna get very far, I'm sorry. I always end up having to carry my kids. This one isn't a far hike, like I said. We may not use it, but I always bring it just in case. And I also use it for piggybacking at camp as well. Back to the sleeping pad, my double climate pad, and it is comfy. I usually have a kid co-sleep right beside me anyways, so I have a little bit bigger of a mat. It's kind of like a mat and a half, but it's really nice. So I do that, and you're not supposed to blow it up yourself. Like, you're supposed to bring in an inflatable pump, but the battery one that I got, like, we could never get it to work. And I think it even had USB, and I've never had good experience with the electronics. So I know you're not supposed to blow air into your sleeping bag because you can get like some mildew and stuff inside, but I'm like, oopsies, don't tell anyone. That's what I do because I just don't want to carry the rest of the stuff. Then I have the Reactor Juniors. These are by Mech. They actually have like a game on top of it where it's like snakes and ladders, so it's super fun for the kids. So this is what we bring. When I was backpacking with my baby, we would do the closed cell on the Thermarest, but you want to keep that R value at about 3 because it can get really cold in the Rockies, and the cold coming up from the ground and the cold air and everything too. One of the things I'm not showing here is I'm not bringing toques on this trip because we are in the dead of summer here in the Canadian Rockies, and I know for certain that we're not going to hit super cold weather. Plus they have hoods on their puffies if I really needed them to have their heads covered, but sometimes I will bring toques and extra beanies and things as well. They have their Morrison Outdoors sleeping bags, you know, the little baby arm sleeping bags that we have at Kids Who Explore. That is our co-brand with them. I brought each kid one. They are down filled as well. Brought my hiking shoes. We have our camp Crocs here. We've also got our permit that always goes into the front of the pocket here of the pack, and then one stays in the car. Then I have my camp pillow. We usually just share this, and we also use our puffies for camp pillows too to make it nice and easy. This is another luxury item. I don't always bring it. If it doesn't fit today, I'm not going to bring it. Then we have my youngest backpack. My oldest, he has his backpack here. So my little one, we don't put too much in it, just like a little snack, maybe his sleeping bag. And then, yeah, we put this one in for T-Bear here. So this is the jet size. And then mine's the 65 liter to try to fit everything in, and it's usually full, and I'm usually carrying so much weight. Then I bring my hiking poles as well. Each kid will keep the poles shrunk like this, and they'll hike with them too. So they love it. This is all my gear that I do bring, and on my next video I'm going to show you how I'm packing it all up to get ready for our trip. Backpacking with kids is a lot of work. So is packing up. So is doing all of my video demos here. But I do it because I want to help you have these experiences in the outdoors too. Some of the most magical memories that I've had with my kids have been in a backcountry camp with our backpacking and stuff, and it has been incredible. So I just love showing you everything that I do to get ready, and I really hope it helps you. Thanks for joining on Adrianna Adventures today, and we'll see you next time.